over the years, you've been very like upfront with your non-use of steroids, but I feel like people still are like, "Are you natural?" And why do you feel so strongly to defend it? And why do you think people think you're not natural?
Well, man,
you are jacked.
That's a great question. It just bothers me because people don't realize what the tongue is very powerful. And, you know, I have power of influence, and of course you do too. There are some people who hang on your every word.
Yeah.
And if you tell somebody I'm not natural and first off, I think it's weird to accuse somebody without any proof. At least give the man a chance to defend himself. How about catch me at an expo, give me a random piss test? You know, give a person a chance, especially somebody who has skin in the game.
Well, I've learned that if you're more muscular than me, you're not natural.
That's how they do it. You know,
that's the way I live my life, dude.
You don't know whose timelines you are affecting with your tongue.
Yeah,
I'm looking back in my life, and just thinking about it. When I was 19, 20, if I would have had somebody I respected telling me that I needed steroids, I probably would have took it. No telling how my timeline would have, because we know quantum physics, there's unlimited possibilities. There's no telling how my timeline would have been affected had somebody I respected and looked up to convinced me that I needed roids or this is not achievable, blah, 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 blah. I just think it's disrespectful to, you know, take that from somebody. And not only that, you don't know whose timeline you're affecting with your lies, you know. And quite frankly, just lying on somebody is rude. But
yeah.
we're on the internet, social media era, and I gotta stop overthinking that. You know, not everybody values the things that come out of their mouth. People just babble things, you know. And when it comes down to it, it's not my job to convince somebody I'm natural or not. I just gotta stay in my lane and keep doing what I'm doing and setting a prime example. And I promise you this, you won't catch me failing no drug test. If anybody randomly pissed me, it might find some weed in there or something. But you ain't gonna find no steroids, I can promise you that. And at the moment I do, because I'm getting up there in age, right?
Yeah.
The moment I do have to do some TRT, I'm gonna take my followers along, because I'm here to set an example. The moment I do have to get up some TRT, I'm gonna take the viewers with me, take them to the clinic, show them what I'm doing, you know, how I'm doing it, because one of my followers might be 45 one day.
Show the shot of the needle going in your butt.
I ain't gonna show them all that.
That's a different website.
OnlyFans.
Let me ask you, why do you feel like it's some sort, because this is how I kind of feel, right?
Yeah.
If you can't tell, I'm natural, you know. Clear.
Yeah, whatever guess, man.
I feel, and I don't know if it's like, it doesn't feel like, I don't know why I feel like I have to have this obligation, but almost as someone where you see everyone kind of going down the path of either lying about it or being open about it or just not saying anything about it, but clearly are on gear, as one of really the true last naturals in this world, especially nowadays, the kids blasting gear at like 19, I almost feel this like obligation where I'm like, I have to stay natural to show people that like you don't have to take gear. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be jacked.
Yeah.
Do you feel any type of way of reason, like because of you have this audience, do you feel like I'm not taking steroids because of I don't want my audience to do that, or
I think just like a circumference chart, right? Little pieces of the pie. It might be 15%. For other people for sure. Because like I said, I'm here to set an example. You know, how can I look you in the eye, tell you to stay natural, and I'm not. It wouldn't even feel right saying it.
Yeah.
You know, trying to convince you that the natural path is the way. You don't need this, and I'm literally using it. You know, so yes, I think a part of that is setting example for others. Another part is I'm scared of the possible ramifications, the possible side effects.
That's literally my biggest thing. I'm like, because you hear all the low percentages of X, Y, and Z of things that could happen, but I'm like, if I do it, all those things are going to happen 100% to me, and I ain't risking that shit.
I think when you gotta be honest with yourself why you're doing it.
Do you think that nowadays that it's so prevalent in the fitness culture that we're in, of gear, whether people are, again, saying they're doing it or not saying they're doing it or lying, nowadays, like with the whole, I don't need to go into the whole conversation with the whole like Liver King situation where he, cold face was like, I have never taken steroids, came out, turns out he was lying, which goes to show you that people can say they're not doing it and just be lying.
And that is scary to me.
It is.
That is scary for you to be able to get on camera with your family, not trying to down talk the man.
Because there's other people in the room that probably are like, the one maybe injected him, like they know he's lying. It's even worse that people in the room are like, ooh,
that is scary. That's like some narcissist, possibly even potentially psychotic behavior, you know? Like, you gotta keep in mind, I'm trying to bring up my past, but I've been locked up. You know, I've done 4 years in prison, which is one of the reasons why I became a trainer. It's really hard to get good income once you have a felony on your record. So I've had dinner, I've had conversations with some people you wouldn't believe. So I'm real good at reading people.
Yeah.
And that is scary. To just be on Gib or get on camera with a straight face, straight lie like that, I bet he can pass a lie to the test.
Yeah.
He probably could.
Because
which is why they don't use these things in court.
Well, what's wild about that is that, like, what that showed me is that if someone that blatant take the person that doesn't look like him, that crazy, that is also on gear, that is also selling things to make the dream of look like me, but they're not. Now they're like, I need to double down on my lie now. And I guess the whole purpose of me kind of bringing that up was a lot of people who were almost defending him, like, he says he's not lying. He just worked really hard. He does all these things. Do you think that now the perception of what is achievable is so skewed that because obviously you or me, we look at him and go, no, like, absolutely not. Like, you're not, right? But there's a lot of people that, they have to work out enough to know that, or is it's so skewed now that they just think everyone can look like these gods if they work hard enough and eat right and do the right amount of reps?
That's a good question, man. That's a damn good question. So you're pretty much asking the whole Liver King situation, are people's expectations, you know? Oh, man, I mean, that's a question I would have to really think about.
Because you look at the person I always bring up as, it may not be like the ideal natural physique, but look at someone like Scott Herman.
Yeah.
Like, if you showed Scott's physique to a lot of these kids, you go, this guy doesn't look good at all compared to his other things. Yeah. But I'm like, that is a man who has been doing high volume, proper training, diet. I've seen this man for the past 20 years, and that is what he looks like. And then you look at the Liver King, and you think the Liver King's just doing a different workout routine.
It was the raw meat.
Nuts. The nuts get you cuts. That's the new saying, dude. Raw nuts will get you cuts.
Nuts will get you cuts. The raw meat. The
raw meat you can't beat.
Eat raw meat, you have the hose kneeling down at your feet.
That's right.
See, he should have hired me for the ribs. He would have had to lie.
He's like, write these down. We got some new shirts coming out soon.
He wouldn't even have to lie. His personality would have been so great.
Yeah.
He could have just been himself. I feel like you lie when you feel like you're not enough.
Yeah.
You lie when you feel like you are not enough. All he had to do is come in and show some personality, maybe kick some rhymes. I would have wrote some cold rhymes for him. He would have to do that.
I know, man.
But go back to your question, yes, of course. But of course, the situation with Liver King probably messed up some people's expectations. But that's already been happening anyway.
Yeah.
Luckily for Earth, we now got a prime example of what a fake natty is.
What is going on, guys? I am Max Tuning, your host. I hope you enjoyed this little clip. If you want to see the full, magical, lovely episode, just click the link down in the description or search Don't Be Sour on your favorite podcast streaming service. And remember, thank you for tuning in.